In this video, I'll show how to turn a boring static PDF like this into an interactive ebook lead magnet using Flipsnack. This is what I started with, just a regular PDF ebook. No videos, no animations, no lead capture, no analytics. Now let me show you the final result. Now we have AI animated images, embedded YouTube videos, image slideshows, social links, a lead capture form, and even analytics. So we can see how people interact with our content. And the best part is we can build all of this without touching any complex design software. Let me show you exactly how I did it. Here we are inside Flipsnack. To get started, I'm going to click Upload PDF, locate my file and import into the platform. This is the ebook I'll be using for this demo. Right now it's just a static PDF. It looks nice, but it doesn't really do anything. Over the next few minutes, we're going to turn it into a much more interactive lead magnet by adding AI-powered image animations, embedded YouTube videos, image slideshows, navigation elements, social links, and a lead capture form. So let's go ahead and customize this ebook. Now the platform is converting our PDF into editable file. And before we start editing individual pages, I want to set up the branding. So let's start with the logo. When someone opens this Flipbook through a shared link, they'll see our logo here in the corner. So add my logo. This is it. Here it is. It appeared at the top left corner. We can also attach URL to that logo, so users can click it and visit our website. Let's say our website is freshfoods.com, so I'll just add that link. Then we have the accent color. This controls the color of the bar below the Flipbook as people read it through. Currently, it's set to blue color, and I want this to match my branding, so I'll just set this to green color. Here it is. Now this bar switched to green. For the background, we can use the color, add image background, or make the background transparent. I'm going to use the light gray background to create a little bit of contrast between Flipbook and the background. It looks a bit cleaner than having everything pure white. And the nice thing that all of these settings can be saved for future Flipbooks. So if you plan to create multiple Flipbooks under the same brand, you only need to set this up once. Apart from branding options, there are more general settings that we can apply. For example, if you go to Appearance, we can change the page transition style. Right now it's using the classic flip effect, which feels most like a real book. But if you want, you can change the transition to something smoother, like slide. Here's how it looks like. Here in the add-ons, we have options to add lead form, table of contents, Google Analytics integration, as well as connect it to the HubSpot. But the feature I want to highlight and use is the lead form. I'm going to turn this on. This feature allows you to collect email addresses directly inside your Flipbook. You can place it at the beginning of the document, in the middle, or at the end, depending on your strategy. For this example, I'm going to place it on the very last page. That way readers can browse the content first, get a sneak peek of my book, and then opt in and leave their email address if they want to access the full cookbook. In this form, you can add multiple fields. You can ask for a first name, phone number, website, and other things. I'm going to keep it simple. And here below, you can add multiple checkboxes. If you want to stay GDPR compliant, you may as well want to ask users to check this box and make sure they confirm to receive marketing messages. What I'll do here, instead of this title, fill out this form to keep reading, I'll write something like this: get the full cookbook. Now by default, this form is set to appear on page 1, but as I said, I want to display it at the very end of my lead magnet. My ebook has 10 pages, so I'll set it to appear on page 10. Perfect. Now it seems that we are ready to customize the actual pages of our Flipbook, and for that I just hit on Edit and Edit Flipbook. And here we are in the Flipbook editor. Now at this stage there are a lot of things that you can do. We are not going to cover every feature in this video, but you can add multiple elements such as links, slideshows, pop-ups, embed videos, shop buttons. You can add text elements, you can add quizzes, social media icons, shapes, multimedia files. You can generate images with AI and even automate product catalogs using CSV files if you're selling products. For now, let's focus on features that made this ebook more interactive. So starting from the page 1, before we touch and edit anything here, what we have to do is to click this little icon which says Edit Page. And then Flipsnack is going to turn that static page into a customizable one. Now, as you can see, we can move the things around, change the fonts, adjust the layout, and so on. So you do the same for every page that you want to customize. Here I don't want to adjust anything. All I want to do is to add a navigation element that takes readers straight to the lead capture page, which is our last page. This is for the people who don't want to scroll through the entire book and would rather access the full version immediately. So for that, I'll go to Interactions, scroll down to find the navigation element. We're going to use this one, go to page, and I'll simply drag and drop it here to the bottom left corner. Maybe slightly reduce the size. And once viewer clicks that, I want it immediately jump to the page 10. For the tooltip, instead of go to page, I'm going to write something more actionable, like get the full cookbook. And to see how it looks like from user's perspective, we can hit preview. And here you can see there is a little icon that says get the full cookbook. Once viewers click that, they'll be directed straight to the last page and presented with an opt-in form. Now moving to the page 2, for this page, I want to add some motion. Specifically, I want to animate this bottom image to make these dishes appear more real. And Flipsnack offers AI features that allows you to do that seamlessly. So to edit this page, we hit edit page again. We convert it into editable page. Now it's done, and now we can play around with these images. So to add motion to this image, I select it, click on AI Animate, and now I have few options. I can use Auto Animate, I can create a living photo, or I can use Focus Effect. For this example, I want to turn this image into living photo. We can preview the animation here below. I want to apply this effect, and I click on Generate. Now it's going to take a minute or two to generate that. Here we go. Now this image is animated. We can preview it here. It has little motion, we have steam coming out from these dishes, and it feels natural and delicious. So that's lovely. Let's move on. Moving to the page 3. This page talks about bacon wrapped dates, but it feels a little bit empty. What I'm going to do, I'm going to embed a YouTube recipe video directly into the page. So instead of reading all this text, users can view the video and learn more about this dish in a more interactive way. So for that, I'll go to interactions. I found the video embed element, drag and drop it onto the page, resize it, and position this element where I want it to appear. Just right here underneath the text. And to make the actual video appear on this page, what we have to do is to provide our video link. In this case, it will be YouTube, and I'll just paste my link. Here it is. The video is there, and people can watch this straight from our Flipbook. Now page 4, it already looks good to me, so I'll leave it as is. But on page 5, we have this large empty space above the content, and we can't really leave it like that. It looks bad. So what I'm going to do is to add a slideshow showing different variations of this dish. For that, again, I'll go to Interactions tab. I'll find the element called Slideshow, drag and drop it onto the page, adjust it properly, and this is going to be the area filled with the image carousel. What we want to do next is to add our images we want to display. So we click Upload Images. And by the way, Flipsnack integrates with royalty-free image sources, so you can find images directly inside the platform. I have my files uploaded already, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to select them all and click Insert. Here we go, the slideshow is created. Here's how it looks like. Now readers can flip through multiple visuals without us needing to create additional pages. It's a nice way to add more visual content without making the document longer. Moving on, we have this page with a soup image. I want to apply the same AI living photo effect here as well. So the soup comes live and there's steam coming out from it. So again, I turn this into editable page, select the image, head over to AI Animate, living photo again, and generate. Here we go. And now this image of a soup has the same living photo effect, which looks amazing. This moving image is definitely more engaging than a static one. Now page 7 and the page 8 already look pretty good to me. I think I'm not going to touch them. But the page 9, it has some unused space here in the corner, and I think it's perfect place to add some extra branding elements, things like social media links and a website link. But before I add any icons, I'm going to insert a simple text element. Drag and drop it here. I'll name it Follow for More Recipes. And underneath that, it's a good place to add our credentials. Starting with the social icons, to add those, we go to Interactions again, scroll down a little bit, and we can see we have plenty of social media icons that we can add. I'm going to add a few popular ones, such as Pinterest, TikTok, and Instagram. Each one of these icons can be connected to your own social media profiles. I'm not going to enter any links for this demo, but just so you know, each icon can be linked to your own accounts. To make these icons a little bit better, I'm going to adjust their color so they match the original platform colors. So Pinterest will be red, TikTok will be black, and Instagram will be purple or pink. Now let's go ahead and add our website link underneath these social icons. To do that, I'm simply going to copy and paste this element and move it underneath our social icons. I might also resize this a little bit to make the font slightly smaller. And for the text, I'm going to write something like, visit our website. Now we need to make this text clickable. To do that, I'll go to Interactions again, and I'll find the link area element. Here it is. I'll position it over the text, just like that. And then in the URL field, I'll enter my website. Now, when someone clicks this text, they'll be taken directly to our website. And that brings us to the last page. This page is going to act as our call to action page. You remember the lead form we enabled earlier in the video? This is where it will appear. So when someone reaches this page, they will be able to submit their name and email address to access the full version of the cookbook. You will see how it looks like in a minute. And at this point, everything looks pretty much done here. What we want to do now is to publish our flipbook and make it live. For that, I'll just click Share Now at the top right. And here we can choose whether we want to make our flipbook public or private. We want to make it public and move on. And just like that, our flipbook is live. Now let's see what we have created. Here on the first page, we can see we have our navigation button. So when readers click that, they be directed to our last page, which is our opt-in form. Next, we have our animated image. We have our YouTube embed. Then we have our image carousel. On the next page, we can see our second AI animation. Here are the social links and the link to our website. And on the very last page, we have our lead capture form. In just a few minutes, we have taken a static PDF and turned it into a fully interactive lead magnet. Above here, we have our unique shareable link that we can send to anyone. On the right side, we can also see additional sharing options. We can generate the embed code. For example, if you want to embed this to your website, we can share it through email or create trackable links for different traffic sources. And here below we have brief analytics. This is probably my favorite part. Right here we can already see some basic data such as number of impressions we got, number of views, and the average time people spent reading our flipbook. If we click on View Detailed Analytics, we can get even more data such as clicks, the number of times people clicked links inside our flipbook. We can also see the number of downloads. And on the higher plans, you can access the heat map view, showing where people interact most. That's really powerful because you're not just sending a PDF and hoping people to read it. You can actually see how they engage with it. Here below we can see from which countries your viewers came from, what devices and channels they use to access your lead magnet. We can also view lead capture responses directly inside the platform. We can download those leads or connect them to other tools. For example, Flipsnack integrates with HubSpot and Salesforce, and through Zapper integration, we can connect it to tools like Mailchimp, ActiveCampaign, Gmail, and many others to automate your follow-up process. Lastly, if we go to Overview section of the analytics and scroll down a bit, we can see which pages people viewed most, how long people stayed on each page, and which pages got clicks. So with Flipsnack, you definitely have enough data to test and optimize your lead generation campaigns. Now, if you're wondering about the pricing, Flipsnack does offer a free plan which allows you to create basic flipbooks and test the platform. If you want to access features such as interactive elements, advanced customization, lead generation analytics, and branding features, you will want to look at the professional or business plans depending on your needs. I'll leave a link in the description so you can check the current pricing and features for yourself. But overall, what I like about Flipsnack is that we started with a simple static PDF, and in a relatively short amount of time, we turned it into interactive lead magnet. We added a navigation button, animated images, embedded YouTube video, created slideshows, added social links, and enabled lead capture, all without needing a complex design software. And that's really what makes Flipsnack interesting. It's not just a flipbook viewer, it's the only tool that lets you design, add interactivity, brand, track performance, and collaborate all in one place. This platform has been around since 2011 and is trusted by big companies worldwide such as Estée Lauder, Electrolux, Pandora, and thousands of other businesses worldwide. It's also currently the highest rated flipbook maker on the market, and if you would like to try it for yourself, you can do it for free. Check the link in the description and start designing your interactive lead magnet today. Now, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.